Hello everyone and welcome to another recorded game of me versus Demon Machine, but this is a bit of a special one, and yes, again I must apologise for having to zoom in so far, but that's just how it goes with, the recording. I don't want too much lag. I'll actually take view lock off for now. I'll probably leave it off for the rest of this thing. Oh, and let's not forget to turn demo loop off. There's me in purple and he is in yellow over here. Now this video is actually like a 2-for-1 deal because I've got two purposes for this video. Before I actually get into the fight itself, I'm going to talk about the actual map itself, because this is actually a map that I made. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not specifically talking about a custom scenario. It's not a custom scenario that I made. The game does have a map editor in the game itself. That is where you literally map out the entire level and things are exactly as you put them. This is different. I have actually, edited and, copied and edited one of the custom map generators, such as, there are a few already there, like Shipwrecked and Metropolis, Capricious, Graveyard. There's quite a few there, and I have made one of those myself. And basically, it's like you don't make the map yourself particularly, but what you do is you basically code in the algorithms so that it can randomly generate the ones that you are wanting to do. So this is basically the one that I've done. I've called it Discovery, and I'm saying it's in beta at the moment purely because I don't exactly know. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how it goes. I mean, with the games I've played, it's been perfectly fine. But there are a few things that I'm not too keen on, such as how the trees are kind of at an angle. Sometimes there's right angles, sometimes you get a straight line of trees, and they look a bit odd. Mostly around the cliffs, but I'll just talk a bit about the general layout of these maps. Well, the way I've done it is that there's two puddles of water, two ponds of water, and in this case they're both connected into making one big one. And there's always a few forests, like this. They're set so that they're a certain distance away from each of the players at the start. Quite a fair distance, but not too far away. I've also made it so that the resource-wise, there aren't really any boar apart from this patch that you might find of a few. There's a random deer patch that's located somewhere on the map. In this case, it's in the bottom corner here. What else is there? Also, resource-wise, things come in big chunks usually. So, say berries there, and the berries there, and the gold, and there's usually there's a big lump of gold. Stone is actually not so common in these maps, in that they usually come in just piles of one. So you'll see a pile of one there and a pile of one there, and sometimes there are piles of two. So the idea is that there are a lot of resources, but you actually do have to travel a fair bit of distance to actually get to them. There are a few individual trees near your town centre, just in case you need them. And as you can look at Demon Machine's half here, he's got these few trees there. And perhaps the biggest feature of this map, which is unique, is the Gaia objects. Now, if I turn on Fog of War, as you can see for myself here, this is what I've discovered. And around the map, there are outposts and watchtowers that you can discover. And if you find them, they basically become yours. You see, there's a watchtower of mine, there's an outpost of mine. Go up here, you find there's a few more. So the name of the map is Discovery, and that's basically why, because everything's laid out like that. So scouting is very important in the sense of it gives you much of a wider range of, a bigger field of vision than what you'd usually get from scouting, which you'd usually use for the sake of finding your resources and finding your weak points in the enemy's base. But in this case, you actually extend your field of vision a bit further on. And here I am going down here. Let's look at his side with his Fog of War. As you can see, he's got a watchtower there He's just claimed he's got that outpost. And so he might have seen me pass through there. Go back to my side. I've actually stopped with the scout. I'm going to speed it up. Hey, that's nice and fast. Now, as you can see, there's a watchtower that he's discovered. So that watchtower is trying to defeat my scout. And because I passed by some of his outposts, that means that I was kind of in the way. But let's turn the fog of war off, because now you know the general layout of the map, and I'll probably turn it back on like I was often to see what we can see. But the reason I wanted to show this particular game, we have actually had a few games on this Discovery style map, and don't worry, I didn't exactly make it so that I had an advantage over him. As far as I know, it's not actually possible to make a map style with one person having an advantage. I think that can only ever happen by like random chance away opposition, but I wouldn't intentionally make it one-sided, even if I could, because that'd be stupid. Not even to get my rank up, because I'm just such a good sport like that. Anyway, the reason I chose this game in particular, this particular game that we had, is that I did really well, and hold on. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard something. Well, anyway, this is a... Ah, yes, see here, he's built a barracks there, but he didn't know I had a watchtower there, so the watchtower is actually slowly but surely working away at his barracks, and he's getting his militia to attack my watchtower. So, yeah, I actually do really like this map style, and I'm not just saying that because I made it, I'm saying it because after making it and actually playing it with a Demon Machine and trying it out a few times, I actually really grew to like it. And I'm really liking this feature of the watchtowers and the outposts scattered around. And just another thing I should point out about the map is that it's not always laid out with like a big bit of forest in the middle here. Sometimes they can be scattered around the edge. There was one game that we had where we started really close to each other, and that game didn't last too long. Let me say that. But anyway, yeah, so we played this map for quite a while, and he's trying to destroy that watchtower there. I'm not sure what he's planning to get out of destroying that watchtower, but I get the feeling that he's got nothing left to do with his scout. Let's have a check on his side. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, I don't know. Well, and you've missed it because I didn't actually record at the right time, but what was quite funny is that there was a bit down here where he got an outpost there and I got that watchtower, and so my watchtower slowly but surely destroyed his outpost. But anyway, yeah, I really should be talking about this particular match, and because we're approaching the part that I would consider to be the good part. See, I have a few barracks here and I'm creating quite a few men-at-arms. And what's he doing? Yeah, he's trying to destroy my watchtowers. So I'm setting up my men-at-arms. And I think I actually have like the blacksmith bonuses before he does in this game. But I'm creating men-at-arms from the blacksmith. I am the Celts. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. He is the Spanish. We did random civilizations. Yeah, let's have a look. Mine have more armor than he does. So yeah, I'm creating quite a few barracks there. I'm making a bit of a wall here, a bit of a palisade wall, so that he doesn't get through to attack my my lumberjacks. He'd actually have to go round through my men-at-arms in order to be able to get to them. And a little note, this isn't actually the best game we've had, although at the time it was. The time of recording this video today, is the 13th, I think, of May. And yesterday we actually had a really good game that was played on Oasis. I might actually do a commentary on that video at some point. But this is where I break through, and I'm actually in his base, which is very, very unlike me at this point, because usually it's him breaking into my base. But I think I should just turn Fog of War so you can see what I can see. He does have some lumberjacks around here, but I didn't know that at the time. So I was just going to attack his farmers, because that's what I could see. I had no idea where he had his lumberjacks, or where he had any gold, which would have been probably a good place to go. But see, I just tried to hang around here. I didn't want to go too close to the town centre, because I knew that my men at arms would be at risk of his villagers. And I can see he's got a barracks, and I can see he's storing up some units inside the barracks. What he said in hindsight is what I should have done is these men at arms I should have sent in at a constant stream of them. But you see, I'm actually really unsure as to where he is, so I'm looking around actually, and I would have helped if I had done this previously with a scout. But he actually kills off some. Yeah. Did he have long swordsmen at that point? I don't know. But here are my men at arms. I'm going around. He's actually walled off his lumberjacks, and it looks like he's got long swordsmen at this point. Yeah, he does. But I'm desperately trying to sneak around and get to his lumberjacks, but his long swordsmen are just stopping me. It would be it'd have been great if I would have been able to do that, but see, I'm advancing into the castle edge now, and well, he must already be there because he's got long swordsmen, and at this point I'm just standing no chance against the army that he's got here. So I think I start storing my units inside the barracks, and he's actually gone through. Do I? No, I don't. I think I've closed the gap off. And is this where I start building? No, not just yet. And I realise I haven't commented much on like the economy of this game, and mostly because I've been talking about the map style. But I think, yeah, I've gone over a bit to the side here to get some of the resources over here. Back to the fight. Now is when I'm starting to store them inside the barracks. Destroying the stable. And what was that I was building there? An archery range. Yes, this is where I start building a town centre here. Now, this was actually quite a decent strategy on my part, I think. Because I made the... as you can probably see here, I made the men-at-arms, ungarrisoned them so they came out, and then attacked the long swordsmen. And I tried to attract them towards this bit here so that this town centre could... The villagers could garrison inside the town centre and shoot arrows at him, giving me a bit of an advantage. I'm going to take the Fog of War back off. Map-wise, he's got more than I do. And let's look at the economy. I have so much gold at this point that I don't know what to do with it, but I've got next to no food. I think I'm concentrating a lot on food over here, kind of. Although I can't go too far away. I think I once did try to get those berries there, but I think that's within range of that particular watchtower that he's claimed. So I won't be able to get those. And do I make a monk at this point? Or do I already have a monk? Because it's about the time where I will be collecting relics. And there's a watchtower that neither of us have claimed because neither of us have seen them. What's going on here? Oh, he's trying to... Oh, I see what's going on. He went to start building over there, and I've got a watchtower there trying to stop him. Of course, not doing much work, but still. And he's got loads of long swordsmen here. Way ahead of... Although I do have long swordsmen now, but still... Quality-wise... Or quantity-wise... Although, why is that barracks claimed as enemy if I'm viewing it as myself? Hold on. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, I've upgraded to two-handed swordsman, and I don't think he has at this point. No, he hasn't. But he still vastly outnumbers me, and he says He said that I almost had him near the beginning, which is where the game was really good. And I asked him if he's gone to Imperial, and he said he hasn't yet. Although I have just gone to Imperial because I've got the long-handed sword, two-handed swordsman, so I've got a bit of an advantage stat-wise, but the numbers... champions. There, I've got champions. And this is where I try to attack him, but even champions against long swordsmen, vastly outnumbered. And this is when he just goes all out and starts attacking these barracks. And what's he got going on here? The Scorpion. Oh, and of course he's got Siege. And he's broken through. Yeah, I don't think this game's going to last much longer. I mean, even just looking at the map coverage, he has a lot more than I do. And yeah, that's it. So, that was a good game. And a nice little opportunity to show off my new map style that I made. Very interesting, and I did almost win at that point. So that would have been, well, not at that point. What am I talking about? Earlier on, if I had just, the thing is, I was so busy concentrating on like micromanaging my my men-at-arms at that point that I just I think I kind of ignored my economy for a bit, but I can't remember if that's actually what happened. That's just going off memory. Anyway, that was a good game. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.